I put on the pressure. Oh yes, all time pressure on this land, on this land. Some can't take it, but they can't leave it, leave it. Some are forced to stay under it. Oh yes, you got to keep on slaving in a Babylon. You got to keep on slaving. Oh yes, in a Babylon. Rasta man, don't you give it up, give it up. Just keep on praising God and lick your young. Oh yes, you got to keep on stepping out of Babylon. One more time, step it, keep on stepping out of Babylon.
Yeah, what's good, everybody? Yeah. What's good? Yeah, we trapped in Babylon. We know that. What's good, everybody? Here we on again. Yeah. Hold on. Let me get in the chat a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, we on. Yeah, what's good, everybody? We on. Yeah, we go get into some things today. We go basically get back way back 1918 with the so-called Spanish flu breakout. Yeah, now back then they called it the influenza breakout. Now I already did a video on it still, but I don't know if that video been flying under the radar, but people need to see that they play these games in rotation. You know, they just don't just do a psyop and it work and they forget about it. Like they say, what don't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? The people fall for that pandemic back in the days. And with y'all, most of y'all at home in these times, it's good to go back and check, you know, what kind of agenda you get after those big pandemic that the government set off for the masses. Because this is definitely one of them right now they got with the so-called coronavirus. Yeah, of course it's one of them. And everybody who awake see it. Yeah, it's not in hiding. It's something that blatant in your face. You know what I mean? In plain sight. You know, it's not hiding, people. Come on now. People with their eyes know and they can see that this is a new world order right here. It's nothing different. And like I tell you before, you're just gonna get tighter and tighter. Every day come down, it's gonna get tighter. Someday like today or yesterday you'll be like, yeah, well, it's not that tight, but they're gonna step up the numbers. And like I did a podcast earlier on, just to show the people the numbers, all the numbers that basically the total on every country basically, the total amount of so-called virus person that have the people who have the virus and the people who dead, and you have to add them all up. But what you go understand that it basically going up for the countries that haven't locked down as yet. You get what I mean? So even though I tell you that every country involved, every single country in the world got at least a case. You understand? It go all the way down to like the Virgin Island might got 2 cases, but that's how it is. The Bermuda, even Cayman Islands got 3 cases, but that's how it is, people. Every single country gonna play their role. And then, you know, with the numbers keep going up on the peoples who not locked down as yet, yeah, they're gonna so-called force them to also lock down to contain the coronavirus. But it's a hoax, people. The whole thing is a sham on the masses, no doubt about it. Yeah, and we go get into it and basically show you some things from back then. We go get in a few videos and basically, trying to match it up with what's going on right now. You understand? Let's get into this one right here and break it down. Let's get in it.
Memories of the pandemic of 1918 loom over the current global battle against the coronavirus. And though it's too soon to say how comparable the current outbreak will be, there are lessons to be learned from that earlier time,
Let's see
as
what
we
we
hear
can
from
learn.
Martha Teichner.
The outbreak is growing. More deaths, more cases as thousands of Americans begin to self-quarantine.
You hear that, people? This is how they do you right here. It's not something that you see, but something that you heard of. It's time for you to change your way of thinking, people. What I say, change your way of thinking. You see nothing. You don't see nothing going on where people suffering from this so-called virus. They just tell you on the news, and all you can do is just buy it and run. Of course, change your way of thinking. That's what you need to do.
If the outbreak of COVID-19 has a bullseye in the U.S.,
There you go.
it's Washington State.
And there you go, people. Every single news clip, they show you the same footage. Why they do that, people? This is the third live I done did with these so-called news company, different news company, and every one of them show you the same scene right here, people. Am I lying? Wow, this is unbelievable. All these different news stations, they show the same footage just to convince the masses of a pandemic.
So those cases are linked to a nursing home outside Seattle.
Schools and universities closed. A gauge of alarm here.
Washington State's death toll continues to rise.
Seen in Seattle.
And I'm telling you right now, people, this is how they're gonna lock down the world, by keep showing you this right here with people with the mask on. And I tell you already, people, you're breathing, you're sucking in air. What you think this gonna do for you? As far as the weakest link is right there where the rubber band connect. You understand? That's where the air gonna come from when you suck in the air. You see where your eyes at? Right there where your eyes at, you notice there's a hole. When you breathe, the first place the air run to is not to the front and gonna so-called filter off. It's to the eyes. Right where the eyes at, you're gonna go right to that seam and get in there. You understand? You're not doing nothing but covering up your damn nose. That's all you're doing. It's bullshit.
Well, a lot of masks.
There you go, a lot of
But
masks.
not for
And
the
I'm not lying, people. Every time I see somebody in the mask, they look dumb to me. They look like one of them that got brainwashed by the dumb government system. That's all I see them as when I see them.
first time. Substitute Spanish flu
There you
for
go, people.
coronavirus.
There you go.
1918 for
There
20.
you go, people. It's nothing different. It's the same fucking shit. Everybody dumbed down to the core, wearing masks. They look stupid, people. What's wrong? This was a fashion back in the days. They just use the mask as a damn style, a fashion to show the masses that they have a pandemic. They need to cover up. They need to hide. Same damn shit you get right now.
Coronavirus. 1918 for 2020. And just look.
Wow.
Seattle seized by the Godzilla of
There you
modern
go. There you go,
pandemics.
people.
The
Godzilla.
1918 flu killed 675,000 Americans.
675,000 Americans, as you could see, the big old cross sitting right there, people. They are part of it, the Red Cross. There you go, people. What you need to see again. You see them in front of this bullshit right here that's going on from back in the days, and also right now. This is bullshit they got for the masses. And just like now, you can't prove these fucking fake deaths. It's the same thing. Nobody could prove those deaths. They just fake the masses and give you some news footage.
50 to 100 million people died worldwide.
Wow, 50 to 100 million people died, people, in that. You believe it? Wow, it's nothing but a hoax. 100%
That's
hoax.
equivalent to 225 to 450 million people today. Most,
incredible.
The numbers are staggering.
John Barry wrote a history of the 1918 flu.
When I
He is
told you, these are the people making money off you with this fake shit. They're never gonna stop, people. And I told you, the influenza now, they just describe just a normal like flu. You understand? Normal flu-like symptoms they call influenza. Back in the days, that was the fucking outbreak. You understand? Just like I told you about the coronavirus, known as a damn common flu, common cold. That's all it is. The common cold meaning is a fancy word they use at coronavirus to describe the fucking common cold. And later on, bam, they tell you it's a disease that's killing everybody. Same thing with that influenza. That was the weapon they used back then.
On the
Now it's the
adjunct faculty of
coronavirus.
Tulane University.
There was a mild spring wave that was
bullshit.
hit or miss. It came back in the fall with more than a
You
vengeance.
see this, people? You see what they got right here? Hold on, watch this right
Miss.
here.
It came back
You
in
see this right here? Do you believe this shit right here, people? You need to wake your ass up. They're making tents. And it's the same thing they tell you right now they're doing. Using soccer fields to put hospital bed. And you can't see it nowhere. You hear me? You can't see it nowhere. And there's something else that shocked me. They were so-called talking about the test sites where you have to go to get tested. And you believe that the TV tell you that is secret? I couldn't believe it. They're showing you a side on TV and say, yeah, and show you a crowd of people lining up. And then they go tell you that it's undisclosed. They can't tell you where the site is. You have to call into some people and talk to them, and then you and them reason, some kind of doctor. Then they're going to convince you if you should go or not to go get the testing. What kind of shit is that, people? And then have your identification, your whole belly to show them when you go to get the test. It's a fake shit. 100% in.
fall with more than a vengeance. Probably 60 to 70% of the deaths actually occurred in an incredibly short time of
It's
probably
bullshit.
about
You hear that, people? All the deaths, basically, most of the death just happened in an incredible fast time. Just like all this, the virus just rise up, people. Last couple of weeks, they tell you it's a couple of Americans have it, like 16, and all of a sudden it's 6,000. That's how they do it. They're full of shit on the
14 or
masses.
15 weeks
15
from
weeks,
late
yes,
September
there you go.
1918 until, through December, maybe a little into January.
In that
There you
time,
go, people.
during the final months of World War
There you
I,
go, people. It's just a trick for the masses. It's not real. The same way they're running this hoax right here on the people, and we can see it, is the same way they're running on those dumb people back in the
more
day. That's what
soldiers
they do.
died of the flu than were killed on the battlefield
Wow.
during 4
There you go.
years of
There you
fighting.
go. I already told you that's why they use that. It's easier to convince masses of a pandemic when it's damn disease. You understand? Not war. The war, they can never tell you kill that much people because they're only using soldiers to war. And most of the time, they're not going to tell you that citizens or so-called regular people get involved in it. You understand? This is what they have to use to shut down the whole wide world. It's a world scare, people. No doubt about it. And this show you that they did it before. And they're the one who's showing you right now to let you know that, yes, it happened before and it will happen again. That's how it is.
As opposed to the coronavirus, the most vulnerable were in their 20s.
You see?
most horrific-
You see the difference? The most vulnerable back then was in their 20s. Now they're telling you it's people in above 60. You see what I'm saying? That's how they do it, people. They're full of shit. All flu-like symptoms, like supposed to kill more like older people with complication. That's just how it is.
Symptoms really were you could bleed not only from your nose and mouth, but from your eyes and ears. People were turning so dark blue from lack of oxygen. In the book, I quote one doctor writing a colleague saying that he could not tell.
You're reading off a script, people. Take a look at his eyes and take a look at the person who do the interview with the shoulders all up. Yes, like it worried. More it hear it, it feels scared. Of course, it's
White
bullshit acting
soldiers,
for the
from
people.
African American soldiers.
It was called the
There
Spanish
you go.
flu.
It's called Spanish flu just to mock the damn people. There you
That
go.
was only because Spain, which was not at war, allowed the press to report on it openly, unlike here.
It's bullshit.
The first serious outbreak in the United States began
Why
at
would all these people right here in one spot open up like this, people? And they all got the virus. You believe it? It's bullcrap for the masses. You believe this right here? Wow, who gonna be in this kind of environment treating these people right here? Just a hoax for the dumb
Camp
masses.
Funston, now Fort Riley in Kansas. As infected soldiers from across the country
Bullshit.
made their way to the trenches in France, the virus spread.
You see?
But the nation wasn't
War is just propaganda and hoax. They run on the masses. Don't be surprised when they tell you that something broke out in the war. They're full of shit.
told. A year earlier, President Woodrow Wilson had rammed through Congress the Sedition Act, making it a crime to say or publish anything negative that would affect the war effort.
You
Wilson
hear that, people? It's from, I told you, man, nothing new under this dome right here, people. They do the same thing from back in the day, suppress the people. Basically, that's what they're telling you. They're doing that shit today, just like they used to do it back in the days. But people spreading lies. Them is the liars, the fucking news company.
created what was called the Committee for Public
Bullshit.
Information. The architect of that committee said,
Yeah, read your script.
truth and falsehood are arbitrary terms. The force of an idea lies in its inspirational value. It matters very little if it is true or false.
Was that a license to lie to the American public?
It was precisely that.
All of them got the license to lie to the people, including these punks that you see on screen. That's why they get the airtime. You understand? The TV is about deception. If you're not a deceptionist, they're not putting you on there. Simple as that.
In the United States, you had national public health leaders saying such things as, quote, this is ordinary influenza by another name, unquote.
There you go. There
At
you
the
go.
local level, the same kind of thing was occurring.
With deadly mafia, which went ahead with a huge war bond parade in the fall of
What's
1918,
gonna happen?
when the virus was at its most virulent.
And
Newspapers killed stories, quoting the medical community saying, don't do it.
So 48 hours later, influenza exploded around the city.
you hear that, people? Because the people go ahead with that so-called protest, the disease explode around the city. You believe that? It's government people was doing the protests in the first place. That's what you need to know. All fakers and the masses. In all those so-called tragedy, you know, they put on it. You understand? They put it on for the dumb masses. It's just a show. They're dancing around on the world stage. All of them in our
The result is it's one of the hardest hit cities in the world. And the mass graves being
There
dug
you
by
go,
steam.
people. Mass grave. There you go. This is what I'm gonna show you about mass graves. Where's the graves? You see people with shovel holding down their head. Where's the graves? This is just dumb shit for the masses. 100%. But they can use this faggy shit right here, Charlie Chaplin shit, and fool the dumb masses. Bam on.
Shovels and so forth.
And how many people died?
About 14,500 in Philadelphia.
Bullshit.
Compare the signs that went up then to now. Notice that hand washing. Compare the signs that went up then to now. Notice
Wash your
that
hands.
hand washing wasn't mentioned. Americans could see for themselves in spite of what they were.
This right here, people. Wow, I told you, man. The sheeps and the dummies, you can see them in plain sight. They can't hide, people. As soon as the government run a psyop, you see it on them. It shows. You see this shit right here. It show up on them, people. That's how you know the dummies of this world. I'm not lying.
Old.
There you
They
go.
thought they were less likely to catch the flu.
Look at this right here, people. What is this? The barber, you cutting the hair and you got the mask on. It's nothing but bullshit, people. Are you kidding me? If this man right here, so-called, got the virus and he haul up in his hair, what gonna happen? I guess he good once he ain't breathing, right? It's dumb shit for the dumb masses. Wake your ass
Outside,
up.
they did whatever they could, given what they didn't know.
Back in 1918, they had no idea what it was that they were suffering from and what it was that they were being killed by.
Bullshit.
And to me,
Bullshit.
that's the most frightening aspect of the 1918
Bullshit.
epidemic.
Dr. Jeremy Brown is director of emergency care research at the National Institutes of Health, but spoke to us in a personal capacity.
Viruses would not be discovered for another 15 or 20 years. That's very different to today. We know what it is that is causing the disease.
Brown
Just-
has written
It's
extensively
just a news tragedy. Just go on ahead and tell the masses what the fuck happened. That's all it is. Just tell the masses that y'all faking them. That's all it is. Watch this right here, people. Pay attention.
about influenza and argues that 2020 will not be another 1918, thanks to advances in science.
Back in 1918,
Advance in science. What is science so-called claim to do right now in this pandemic? What is they doing, people? They're searching for the vaccine. Wow, you're in a world of hurt if you think they're looking to help you. I told you, if the disease is out there for real, they would never tell you and hide you. You'll be dead.
the basic treatments that were offered were enemas, whiskey, and bloodletting. Hospitals as we know them today were quite different. There were no intensive care doctors who really understand how to treat the very sickest patients. There were no antibiotics to treat any.
What you're trying to tell us is that's the reason why you're bringing these stuff? That's the reason why we got antibiotic today? Because of this breakout? Tell us all the damn laws that you put in place and all the shit that you implemented right because of this shit right here, a fake pandemic.
Secondary infection. So it was a very, very different time and a very different way of practicing medicine back then.
But for John Barry, there is a takeaway from then that still applies.
The biggest lesson from the 1918 pandemic is clearly to tell the truth.
What are the consequences?
Wow. Is to tell the truth, people. You believe that? Look at these fakers right here on screen and you believe that they're telling truth? They should have never used that word. Let's listen the final word.
Truth isn't told.
I think more people will die, yeah.
If the truth hasn't told, then more people gonna die. You believe that? I already told you it's a fake virus. All of them faking the masses. Let's go back. Let's go.
Tonight, we begin a special series about the threat from influenza. Every year, the seasonal flu emerges and kills tens of thousands of Americans and hundreds of thousands globally. But there's an even graver concern. Public health officials fear the emergence of a new, previously unknown flu virus that could be far more lethal.
And just in case you're dumb, people, this is 10 years ago, right here. Pay attention.
Become a pandemic by spreading across the world. As William Brangham reports, it's happened before.
The heart and my heartbeat, yeah, because of course I didn't have a beating heart for a little bit.
6 years ago, Autumn Redinger started.
Always coding, man. 6 years ago. And the tie and dye shirt. Yes, of course, coding.
Feeling sick. But she was a 33-year-old mom, really healthy.
33 years old, right on the money. Of course, we know it's trash.
Oh, she didn't think much of it.
It was 2 days after Christmas, and I just kind of felt a little junky, a little cough here and there, but nothing horrible. I had texted my fiance, and it was a big jumbled mess, and that's when he pretty much...
The words you texted didn't make sense.
They didn't make sense. Honestly, I don't even remember him coming to pick me up.
Redinger was rushed to her local hospital in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, where doctors diagnosed her with the flu.
My lungs started to feel on fire.
Meaning when you would breathe in, it would burn?
Breathe in, breathe out, it burned.
The flu was attacking her lungs.
And always, people, I told you, man, it's easy for the masses to wake up, man, because I told you, if they tell you a story and don't show you shit, it's better for them. But when they show you this right here, it show you that it is a fucking fake shit. That's all you need to know. Don't bother to even check if something gonna bust him, because it just fake. Nobody do this. Just remember, I tell you, nobody does this. It's fake shit for TV. That's the only reason why they do it, so they could fit it in the nose to dumb down the damn mass.
Filling them with fluid. She was then medevaced to University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, where she was eventually put under the care of Dr. Holt Murray.
The lungs become very boggy, they fill with water, and you're not able to move oxygen from the outside world into your bloodstream.
You can't breathe.
You can't breathe, yeah.
It kept getting worse. Her lungs were failing. She was put on a ventilator, but even that couldn't get enough oxygen into her.
It was a nurse who slipped up and made a comment about me dying. And I was just like, what?
It's bullshit, people. It's 100% bullshit. And all this time you're up and running, but somebody mentioned about dying. It's bullshit. Get out.
Yeah, you died like twice.
Bullshit.
You were on a machine to keep you alive. And I'm like...
That machine, called an ECMO, took out her dark, depleted blood, pumped it full of oxygen, and fed it back into her body.
But when it comes to the fucking elite, they never use but their own blood. They're just giving you a secret how they do it, people. That's how they do it. Fooling the damn masses with the fake stories.
It's through the pump and the oxygenator and comes out cherry red.
That is a very intensive intervention to try to save someone's life.
It's as intensive as it gets. We're taking 5 liters of blood a minute, taking it out of the body and returning it.
It went way, 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 way up.
Days like that are what keep Dr. Anthony Fauci up at night.
In 2017-18, we had the worst seasonal flu that we've had in memory, about 80,000 deaths and almost 1 million hospitalizations. You do that every year for 20, 30, 40 years.
That's a huge
At the end of that time, that's a huge toll in illness and in deaths.
Fauci is the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases at the National Institutes of Health. He says while many take the so-called seasonal flu for granted, it still kills tens of thousands in the U.S. every year.
You see that, people? It killed tens of thousands of people in the US every year, but still they have a vaccine for it. You understand that? What that tell you, people? That show you that the coronavirus is a hoax. Look at what the regular flu do, and nobody shut down shit for it. What's wrong, people? That don't tell you something? Wow. Wow. I mean, every year the flu kill over 5,000 people and more. And you tell me that you never do nothing to so-called solve that problem, and all of a sudden this coronavirus right here? Get out of here, people. This is a hoax right
So
here.
this is the influenza virus. This is the inner core of the influenza virus.
There you go, people. It's a round ball. Like I don't tell you. The same thing they show you in a so-called cartoon farm and tell you it's a coronavirus. You believe them? Everything is a round ball. Just like the earth and every fucking
The
thing
seasonal flu isn't really what Fauci loses sleep over. It's the concern that a new flu strain emerges, a virus we've never seen before and have no protections against, like what happened in 1918.
In 1918, we were swimming in the dark, as it were.
That year, a new virus emerged, triggering one of...
If you know these people, they're gonna show you the same footage. Just like I show you with the news now, they show you the same fucking footage. They have some footage all to convince the masses. That's it. Some photos that they're gonna flash for your subconscious mind, and boom, you believe in it. It's bullshit. All fake fucking photos staged for the masses.
The worst pandemics in human history, often called the Spanish flu, this virus killed at least 50 million people worldwide and reached almost every nation on Earth.
You see, reach almost every nation on Earth. It's bullcrap, people. Just wake up. That's how they do the pandemic and the masses.
675,000 people died in the U.S. alone.
So you had this disease that was spread very quickly across the world, that was killing millions of people, and yet people didn't know what it was that was killing them.
Dr. Jeremy Brown directs the Office of Emergency Care Research at the National Institutes of Health, and he wrote the book Influenza, the 100-year hunt to cure the...
books on this right here, the so-called influenza. And I told you, people, it's not an accident. Why they pull this off back in the days, and now they're pulling off your coronavirus. It's the same damn shit. They're playing rotation. That's what they do. They can't help themselves.
In 1918, a new and unusually deadly influenza virus swept the globe in a pandemic that we are still studying today.
The 1918 pandemic caused the global deaths of probably 50 and maybe up to 100 million people.
You see, people, they don't really have a number for you. 50 to 100 million. How the fuck you get that mix up? That's bullshit, people. You understand? 50 to 100 million. That don't make no sense. How you last count is crap for the masses.
The worst natural disaster in all of recorded human history.
There you go.
But what made the pandemic so lethal?
You people, you believe that this is real virus? It's just bullshit for the people.
NIAID's Dr. Jeffrey Taubenberger has been studying the 1918 flu for decades.
Most people who had influenza in 1918 had a completely typical course of influenza, like you would see today. But
imagine you mask up all the way, and you're getting the water from this right here. Where you think the water coming from? You believe it's a virus going around killing everybody. You think you can drink that shit coming out of the pipe? You gotta be kidding me. You better wake your ass up.
in 18, a really unusually high number of people ended up having very severe illness, meaning that they actually developed a pneumonia, an infection of their lungs, that started out as a viral pneumonia and then rapidly progressed in most cases to a secondary bacterial pneumonia.
Bullshit.
They had no way to treat the viral infection. They had no way to treat the secondary bacterial infections. So these people were just really left, in a sense, to suffer. And this process...
Just like they can't treat the so-called virus that they got right now, people, it's the same way. They tell you they can't treat it or do nothing to it. Yes, and why America only have 400 deaths out of 35,000 cases? That don't make no sense. They're treating it. Why nobody dying? It's bullshit.
From initial onset of infection to death by bacterial pneumonias usually took around 10 or 11 days.
10 or 11
Ordinarily,
days.
influenza is most deadly in the very young and the very old. But as
people, the very young and the very old. Yes, first they tell you about this coronavirus only gonna kill the old people mostly. then they tell you that the young people is also catching
Dr.
it.
David Morens explains the 1918 virus was unusual.
The two things that were different in 1918 is the deaths in all those age groups were more than they had been in other pandemics that we had seen, and that there was a very high rate of death in people between the ages of 20 and 40, which had never been seen before and which had never been seen since.
To find out why the virus was so lethal, Dr. Taubenberger and other scientists retrieved samples of lung tissue preserved in paraffin from soldiers that had died of the flu. Eventually,
And always running psyop with the soldiers because they are guinea pig. They don't have no job. They're just guinea pigs. That's why the government pulled them out to become guinea pigs and the masses. Right
with the
here.
help of tissue recovered from frozen bodies in Alaska, Dr. Taubenberger's team was able to reconstruct the 1918 flu virus.
There you go.
Unfortunately, when you look at the genome,
You reconstruct the flu virus. Do you believe that? I already told you people, it's nothing but deception you get on TV. They're faking the masses. What you doing reconstructing a damn deadly virus? Wow.
of the virus and just compare it on paper to other influenza viruses, nothing
Bullshit.
obvious really pops out at you as to why it would behave this way. And yet we know that this virus is a really virulent and pathogenic virus. And one of the things the 1918 virus did, it does in experimental animal models, and there's data to say that that's what happened in people.
Animal models. Because all of these so-called viruses that complicate the human being, bring them to their death, is come from animals. Wow. And I told you already, people, it's so weird that you have to go so deep in an animal. You have to get to the blood or the urine for you to contract the disease from them. But the human being transfer the disease to another human being by just touching a damn surface or just sneezing the air. You believe that? Is nothing but bullcrap. The whole thing
Is
to
that
put
it
together.
induced a really strong and very unusual kind of inflammatory response, so that the body's response, immune response to the virus itself, contributed heavily to lung damage and pathology, and probably contributed to serious illness and death. So it's this very unusual inflammatory response that's one of the key active research focuses of my laboratory to understand why the 1918 virus induced that, and what perhaps we could do in the future to try to develop drugs that might target or limit aspects of the inflammatory response as a way of treating severe viral infections.
More and more and more medication for the masses. That's what they got. No cure, just treatments. More medication. That's all they got. And I told you they're coming with the vaccine. Let's continue.
Similar virulence to the devastating. To investigate the potential financial impact of a global pandemic, AIR leveraged its global pandemic model to simulate a hypothetical pandemic scenario. The one we
Yeah, but what you have to understand, people, it is coming. It is coming. With this, that they stop everything that's moving, the economy gonna crash. As you know it, it's gonna crash, people. That's how they're gonna bring in your new world order. That's how they're gonna do it. One world connection.
chose has a similar virulence to the devastating pandemic of 1918, with a return period between 100 and 200 years. The map you'll see shows the progression of the event, including the number of mortalities in each country. The pandemic begins in Mongolia and spreads rapidly to other countries, including
You hear that, people? Mongolia. This is the one that create the disease. I'll come up with it wherever they go tell you it come from an animal or a bat or whatever. But Mongolia, just like they gave you with the Hua China, and it spread rapidly. Just remember that word, people, rapidly, because it is a hoax. Just word of mouth. That's the only fucking way it can spread that fast, if it's just a word of mouth lie.
Russia, China, Korea, Armenia, Germany, Japan, Hong Kong, Tajikistan, and the Ukraine.
There you
Travel
go.
restrictions and quarantine measures take effect in the originating country by the end of the second.
Bam. You hear that, people, from back in the days? Travel ban and also quarantine. Right there. They do it, people. Travel restriction and the masses. The same thing that you're getting now. It's not an accident, people. And like I say, nothing new under the dome. They're doing it again in rotation. Holding everybody to ransom. And I already told you, they can't basically house everybody. So that's why they tell you you're on house arrest It sound fancy when they use the word quarantine. It's called house arrest. It don't matter how pretty you let it sound. It's house arrest right there.
However, these actions are not effective in preventing the rapid spread of the pandemic. The World Health Organization declares a pandemic phase 6 in the 4th month.
Phase 6, all coding. I told you how they do it, people. They're wicked people behind the wheel running this earth.
Indicating a global pandemic.
Global pandemic.
Vaccines begin to come online only in the 6th month.
6 months, babe. That's what I told you. What I tell you, people. I tell you, don't let them tell you about, oh, we have to 18 months or 2 years, a year and a half to come up with it. No. They're gonna come up with it as quick as 6 months. As soon as the fucking smoke clear, here they come with the damn vaccine to save the day. That's how they do it, people. And the vaccine is the real virus that gonna kill your ass. I'm not lying. There's no virus out there. So anything they're gonna give you is the real poison. Just dumb.
First batches are reserved for high-risk individuals, such as those with underlying medical conditions, children, and healthcare workers who are generally
coming for the older folks. That's what they're doing, killing off the damn knowledge real fast before it can get down to the younger ones. They're gonna grow up dumb as a box of rocks. That's what they said.
Considered to play a crucial role in the spreading of influenza. The efficacy of the vaccine, which varies by patient age, ranges between 40 and 60%, which means that the vaccine works for only about half of those people who receive it.
The vaccine works for just half of the amount of people who receive it. It's bullshit. It works for what the government actually giving you for. Break down your damn body. Complication. Put your ass on medication. That's what it is. No doubt about it.
The pandemic continues to sweep across the world. Although cases are reported in all age groups, the very young and very old experience the most severe infections. As is common with pandemic mortality, the virus impacts a disproportionate number of people under age 65. The R0
age 65, but now it's more gonna affect over 65. Just bullshit for the masses.
value for this pandemic, a measure of how many new victims a disease carrier is likely to infect, is about 1.5, only slightly higher than a typical seasonal flu.
One person gonna infect 1.5 people? Okay, let's go back.
New victims a disease carrier is likely to infect is about 1.5, only slightly higher than a typical seasonal flu. The virulence of the virus, as measured by the case fatality ratio, is comparable to that of the Asian flu and Hong Kong flu pandemics, or a category.
All hoaxes, people. I already told you they can't do it running a real virus out. They can't. I don't know why the people can't understand that. They can't do it with a real virus that spread that fast. They can't. After that, there'll be no control. The world would end. You understand? The people who telling you about it, they're so-called dropping like flies. Of course. They tell you that somebody in Donald Trump camp just have it. They tell you a member of Congress just have it. They're the one who gonna have it then. You get what I mean, people? It's not real life. It's the people on stage who fall in. That's all it is.
2 pandemic on the CDC's Pandemic Severity Index scale of 1 to 5.
At
At this level, workplaces are advised to consider modifying schedules and rely more heavily on telework and staggered shifts.
Yes.
At the end of 22 months, the World Health Organization declares the end of the pandemic.
Wow, 22 months, people. Wow, 22 months. Wow, so you look at that and tell me, people, how many people can survive this shit with them locking you off in your home? You can't go out to work. Everything stopped. They're going to crash the economy. They want you to depend on the government. They're delivering food in brown paper bags. Yes, that's what they're going to do, people. Deliver you some meals in bags. Wow, that's what they're going to do if they keep you at home. How many people going to last with the food that they stack up all the way to the roof? Of course, it's going to done at some point. They're going to deliver food to your house. That's what they're going to do. Feed you that GMO food because they got a lot of it. Just remember that I tell you, they use it to cripple the country, the whole wide world, cripple the world, and have you depending on the government. I told you, they don't need money. The money is to keep you in slavery. They don't need it. They can stop every damn thing. They don't have to go to work. They don't have to do shit. The money is there, people. It's going nowhere. And the money that you have in crisis, you already spend it all up. Wake your ass up. They already have your money in their
It has
pocket.
killed more than 21 million people and infected more than 1.6 billion people worldwide, or nearly 23% of the world's population.
All
Life
damn coding they give you, nothing else. There you go with your number 3, your number 7, your 2, 3, and your 4, 5. Right there for your number 9. Just call
insurance
them.
losses exceed $45 billion.
All coding.
As severe as it sounds, this pandemic does not represent a worst-case scenario in terms of pandemic risk. To help companies prepare for the full range of possible outcomes, the AIR model offers a 500,000-year catalog of simulated events.
Oh, that gonna help. That gonna help everybody. Yeah, just keep putting out the events out there, and the people gonna take it, and that go help them get the hell out of here.
I had a little bird, his name was Enza. I opened the window and influenza.
Perhaps until recently, Spanish flu has been what some people call a forgotten pandemic. But it was a huge...
People, the same photo again. It's the same photos. They have about 10 or so photos that they use. Every single one of these fucking fakers news company got it, and that's what they use to bring you the news back in the days. That's how they do it. It's the same thing they're doing today. What's wrong with you people?
Global calamity. In terms of the number of deaths,
Same photos, the same photos.
we're saying 50 to 100 million, far greater than the we're saying.
Hold on, man. Is the sun shining on this one right here lit up? I told you, man, CGI, they pass off as real. Look at these people that you see sitting there. You believe it's real? It's nothing but a hoax, people. That's how they fool the dumb masses. Had some little Photoshop in and patch it up. And there you go. That's why you get this shit so bright right there, like an alien about to pick him up in the damn movie.
50 to 100 million, far greater than the casualties of the First World War. Roughly around April, May 1918, when, the carnage of the First World War is graphic and horrendous. But at the same time,
Of course, people, they got videos of it with people getting shot and people getting bombed and everything. They have footage of it. You believe it? It's nothing but a TV show. And I tell you, man, I'm sorry for those people back then. Picture them trying to solve this right here, people, with no TV. You gotta be kidding me, people. They got them back in the days. They have no resource back then. There you go. They couldn't notice that there's no way they could have been out there filming the damn war like TV show.
graphic and horrendous.
Bullcrap.
But at the same time, this unknown enemy is starting to sweep through the US, Europe, the trenches, and it is recorded by the Spanish press, and it becomes dubbed as the Spanish flu because they are neutral. Well, at the time in the 1920s,
Of course, that's a body under there. You understand? Wow, there you go, people. You believe that? All right.
they estimated that maybe 20 million had died. By the late 20th century, that figure had been up to 25 million. In the 21st century, with scientists and historians now getting together to work much more closely, that figure has now been upped to 50 to 100 million people killed.
50 to 100, all of them singing the same song. 50 to 100 million people. How can you do that? 50 to 100. You can't double it. You can't. You can't double it with a give and take 500 million. Get out of here. That don't sound right.
This virus killed more people
Give or take
in the
50
first 25 weeks than HIV/AIDS has killed in 25 years.
There you go again, people, with another fake epidemic that they put on again for the masses.
Horrendous. I mean, those mortality statistics are staggering.
We don't know exactly why some flu strains are much more severe than others and why some of them would be more likely to kill people or cause very severe disease.
What is particular about avian and pandemic viruses is that they replicate deep inside our lungs. When our cells detect this and trigger a very strong innate immune response, this leads to an influx of white blood cells and fluids into our lungs that restricts the amount of airspace that we have to breathe.
The symptoms are very graphic.
They have these photos right here to pull on your heartstring. Don't believe in it, people. You believe this right here? Wow, take a look at this.
And very, very striking. So, it's said that some people drowned in their own phlegm So if it was hitting or affecting the lungs, people were spurting blood from their ears and their noses.
You hear that, people? People was spitting up blood even through their ears and noses. And I told you, people, I heard one case of somebody so-called of the coronavirus coughing up blood. They never tell you that. You understand? That's bullshit for the masses. If you coughing up blood, you better make sure you seek for something else. Don't worry about no coronavirus because it's a fake hoax they got for the masses. Everybody gonna be sick. They're all, you got the coronavirus. You're feeling pain from the so-called flu. Of course you go think that you have the coronavirus. If you have the regular flu that come to every year and hit almost everybody, you're gonna think that you have the coronavirus. You need to stop it, people. Don't even think about the fucking coronavirus. I told you it's 100% hoax. I don't give a damn. They don't have one of those so-called flu-like symptoms, disease or virus that gonna flip you over and kill you. You got it? It's nothing different from the damn seasonal flu. Don't let them fool you. You get what I mean? Stop letting them tell you about the coronavirus gonna kill you. And as soon as you feel like you have a stuffy nose, there you go, you have the virus. People just dumb.
Descriptions of people turning blue,
Bullshit.
or purple.
Bullshit.
So,
Of course they become purple. It's bullcrap.
you know, it was really, really.
There you go again, people. The same footage again. What I don't tell you. Did I miss? I told you already, people. I study hoaxes. That's what I do. All of them have the same footage, the same photos to convince the masses that it's real. Why you can't get it, people? That's what they do. They've been doing it from 19, you know what. They've been doing it from ever since. This is nothing new. We already figured it out. They can't do nothing else to slide by the truth.
Yeah,
now. They
and
can't.
people just dropping down in the streets.
Same footage.
Those that succumbed to the flu were in the age group 20 to 40 years, which is very unusual for an influenza epidemic or pandemic. And scientists and historians are now still looking to see why.
There's really two ways that people die.
Look at this that they show the masses. You're supposed to believe this right here. What's wrong, people? You believe in this shit right here. You believe that all of these people in these sheets boxed out got a virus that gonna kill you even if you cough. Get the fuck out of here. It's garbage. 100% set up from the elite.
In 1918, they either died from the initial flu infection or they died from an enormously strong immune response to that virus where their lungs just filled up with fluids from trying to attack the virus that got into their lungs.
So traditionally, everyone sort of said, oh, well,
They at war, and I guess they have the virus at the same time. This one with the cross on, wow, I told you, people, they're full of shit on the mask.
it's the trenches, you know, the conditions of the war. That's why it was so fatal. But then
Look at this right here from back in the days, people. Every single one of them got on the mask. I told you, this is how they fool the masses. Hoax with the damn army.
think, well,
That's how they
you know,
do it.
how did it spread so rapidly around the world?
That's the good question. It's the same thing we asking about this coronavirus. How the hell do it fly so fast around the world? That don't make no sense. Why every single country got a case? It don't make no sense, people. This is garbage.
To places that are not part of the theatre of war.
There you go.
I think the traditional explanation is it starts in Kansas.
Again, people, the same photo with the light up right there. The same photo again in another footage. You see what I tell you? What I don't tell you, people, I never miss. You don't matter where you get the footage from. They got the same damn pictures.
in an army camp, and then the troops bring it over to the trenches of Europe. But there's still...
There you go, people, right there. And if you see this, if you walk into a room and it look like this, you might as well just turn around if you're awake. If you're awake, you turn around and leave. This is dummies right here, and you'll be totally separated. You'll be so separated, they're gonna see you. You get what I mean?
Still many, many unknowns.
So mathematical modelers have long been interested in the 1918 pandemic, and one of the questions is to try and disentangle how it spread around the world and exactly what the routes have been. Given perfect data, you could work backwards and try to infer where it's come from. Whereabouts does it arrive in a country? Does it arrive multiple times? Or thinking about
And one thing you better remember, people, with all of these footage that they're giving you from back then in that so-called pandemic, they will never show you the repercussion. They will never show you the aftermath. They will never do it. They're never gonna show you the aftermath. They're just gonna tell you when it end. 22 months it end, but they never tell you what the people have to go through. What did they pull off after this so-called pandemic? What was the end result? Wow, a million laws put in place, just like the 9/11 bullshit. That's how they do it, people. Wake up.
Countries, where is the first place? If you understand the origin of a pandemic, then you understand something about where it's come from, and maybe you
for
can
vaccine? Was they fighting for treatment? Was a riot break out because people need to get vaccine and so-called treatment? Of course it gonna happen. As soon as they tell the masses that there's a cure or a so-called treatment, the people gonna go wild. Of course, the people that don't have shit, you need to wake
stop that in future.
Almost certainly it was a bird
fake
flu.
virus, people. It's not real. All of these photos that they show you, some of them in balls rolling around with spurs on them, or some might look flat right here. It's bullcrap for the masses. It's no real virus they're showing you. Just like there's no real virus going around killing the people.
Originally. But then, we also know that that flu, or something very similar to it, was in pigs at the same time.
Pigs.
Maybe it's
That's
somebody...
why they come up with the swine flu, because the swine is the same pig. You understand? That's how they do it, people. We keep catching these so-called flu-like symptoms type deadly disease or deadly virus from animals, bats and fucking pigs and bird. It's bullcrap, people.
Who works very closely with birds, or who works very closely with pigs, or has...
With birds again, people. Birds and pigs. No, it's a bat. Wow, this is bullshit for the masses.
Mother exposure like that.
Wow.
One of the big, really open questions in flu research and flu public health is, how does the virus adapt from one species to another? How does, for example, a virus in pigs or in birds get into humans and then start transmitting?
Go ahead and answer.
Then the key question is, how does the virus then adapt within that person to stop being a pig virus or a bird virus and become a human virus? In other words,
yes, you know what he just saying that? You know why he just say that? It's to mock the damn people. Because I already told you. Remember, I'm not no doctor, but I never miss. You can never pass off a fucking animal. An animal can never pass off no disease or no virus on the human being. You hear me tell you that? It's bullshit for the masses. It's 100% hoax they got for the people. You believe in it? Get the fuck out of it.
to be able to transmit from human to human.
Bullshit.
And it's probably some very quick...
Two different fucking creatures. The human being and any animal that you can pick out. They don't have the same kind of disease and viruses. It's bullshit. None of them can pass on no disease to you. It's garbage. 100%
evolutionary process that is going on within that human, and in many cases won't be successful, but in a few cases will, and that's when the virus can start spreading between humans and become a flu pandemic.
And bullshit. It's bullshit, people. There you go. Yes, after the animal passes it off to you, then it becomes a flu pandemic. It's garbage. Don't believe in everything they tell you on TV, because one thing you need to remember, they're full of shit. That's it. Once you know that all of them full of shit, they got no truth for you. Why would you take truth from them? It's time to turn off the news when it comes to truth. They are deceptive.
Stay in humans as regular seasonal flu.
Regular seasonal flu. There you go.
Just as people were celebrating Armistice Day, and there was hope that it was dying down.
Look at this right here, people. Look how they have the dumb peoples. They have you wrapped around the finger once they pull off a pandemic, because you can't move a muscle until they tell you to move. That's what it is, people. And I told you, it don't matter where you're at. It's gonna get tighter and tighter by the day. Go along. That's how it is. They're gonna do it. They're gonna lock you down because it's increasing, and they need to lock down before it can stop. That's what they're gonna sell it dumb people.
And then it resurged, and a far more deadly and virulent strain emerged. So this second wave really spread like wildfire, affecting a third or a quarter of the population of the world. And it was short-lived, so it petered out not long afterwards, maybe 1920, 1921. But it was in the sense short-lived.
What happened is that...
Short-lived. Is this gonna be the same? Or this one gonna hang on for a few months, people? Is this gonna hang on Remember, 20-something months, that's close to a year. So you're looking at, they tell you that was fast. So think about it, people. And I'm telling you, I'm not out to scare the people, but I only give you reality. It's reality, that's something that you need to look into. I'm not trying to scare you, but think about it. If they have you trapped off in your home for some months, think about it. They have you trapped off, you can't do shit. They lock you off because they claim that they're trying to save you. How you're gonna be maintaining? You're not going to work. You're gonna sit there and wait on Donald Trump to send you a check and send food to your door. I told you, people, that's where they're heading with this shit right here. I told you, the 2020 meaning is a reset. They have to do it. And if you go back and check from any biblical days, everything happened in 2000 years, 2000 years. You understand? Before and after Christ, they give you so-called 2000 years. Just remember, I tell you, people, the 2000 is a reset. 2020. You think they just start counting numbers 2020 years ago? You better wake up, people. They set it up all the way for this right here to set the new world order in place right now.
Virus continued to transmit among humans. In fact, it continued until 1957 to transmit between humans.
Yes.
And probably what happened there is that the virus adapted to humans. It wasn't.
Oh, okay. It just adapt to humans. That's how the disease go away. You believe that? Wow, something that killing the human being kills so much millions of people. Are you kidding me? From 50 to 100 million people? And it just adapted to them all of a sudden. That's trash.
This avian or swine virus that came in and was accidentally
virus, I told you, people, is all lies.
More pathogenic in humans. In our lab here in Cambridge, we study both seasonal flu and pandemic flu from the standpoint of how
off a script.
does the virus evolve, and how can we predict that evolution and make vaccines to try to
how can they predict it and make vaccines? Wow, I don't know why that name scares me so much, people. The vaccine. If people just understand what they call vaccine, they would be scared as well when they come their way with that vaccine. You understand? That's the fucking killer right there.
Artificially evolve the virus both in the laboratory and in the computer to understand what it's going to do next and to make vaccines against those strains that will evolve in the future. So this is the basic science of studying evolution and trying to predict that evolution. Something that nobody's ever been.
All scientists, people, that's what they're creating right here. Poison for the masses and tell you it's cure. That's what they're doing.
Able to do for a complex organism. And then working to use that understanding to make better vaccines. On the pandemic flu side, we do a similar thing where we look to see how that virus is changing. That virus, how it changes in birds and how it changes in, how that virus changes in other species.
And birds, how it changes in birds and other species. Yes, they're also flying around with viruses that can kill the masses. You see that? They're full of shit on the masses. Just watch this one right here.
It's hard to believe that something so tiny could destroy so many.
In just 2 years.
It's hard to believe that something
Hold on.
so tiny could destroy so many.
In just 2 years, this terrible plague was to claim over 20 million lives.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst epidemics in history.
As for adults, those born before 1957 probably got the measles because there was no vaccine.
No, the measles is another bullshit that they pass off on the masses. And when I was a kid, basically, the measles is just something that pass you by, people. It's gonna kill you. No, it's not gonna kill you. Only the government pass off that fucking lie on the masses and tell you people dropping from measles. It's a bullshit. You get a little rash, and a lot of people got a whole lot of remedy for it. They bathe in bush and herbs, and they get rid of that shit like a snap on the damn finger. But they can fool the masses with the press and tell you that you're dying from measles. It's bullshit. Nobody died from that shit in real life. Just remember, I tell you, you're fucking fake smallpox. You believe them? Dumb on.
Back then.
For this list, we're looking at plagues, pandemics, and other scourges of disease that spread through the human population like wildfire, killing millions.
Like wildfire, killing millions. You believe it? It's nothing but hoax, people. They're not telling the truth. when it comes to pandemic. They make it up.
The disease permanently scarred both his body and his mind.
We're not necessarily ranking them based on how many people were killed by the plagues, but those figures definitely play into our choices.
Wow, it was lies. Let's watch this one.
There were areas where outbreaks that occurred where the rat flu was not there to transmit, but nevertheless they had a bubonic plague outbreak.
Number 10, the third cholera pandemic.
By morning, my father was very sick. He had diarrhea that looked like gray water and poured out of him.
The unlucky victims of this disease suffered through hellish final days, with diarrhea, vomiting, and
And don't worry about it, people. You see, when you're in these kind of countries right here, carrying around these damn dirty buckets to go get the dirty water that they so-called have for you. Of course. Yeah, of course you were sick. What do you think? Come on.
dehydration being the main symptoms.
This is the emergency area where the patient first come. If the patient has severe dehydration is a medical emergency.
It's called order of chaos. They're the same people do it. The same people coming with all the medication to help you. They're the motherfuckers who poison you to begin with. Now they're coming like they're rescuing somebody. They can't fool me.
With the most deaths of any 19th century epidemic, the third cholera pandemic began in India and spread across Asia, Europe, North America, and Africa to countries like Russia, where over 1 million people died.
Wow. In Russia, over 1 million people die. And you know they run hoaxes in Russia, just like America. That's what they do.
In a matter of days, you might have 10 people infected, then 100 people, then 500 people. One person in 5 will...
Same fucking shit with this coronavirus. The human being can't grasp it. They're never gonna get it. There's no way you can spread a virus that fast. No way in this world. It's only because it's a hoax. That's why it's
It's severe diarrhea. Without quick treatment, up to half of those people might die.
However, it took an outbreak of this severity for the cause of cholera to be found. In 1854, British doctor John Snow discovered that tainted water was to blame.
Oh, there you go. What I don't tell you, people, tainted water? You think you need a scientist to tell you that shit? Of course not. They're the one who poisoned the damn water to begin with. And then they come in like they're rescuing you. Oh, we find the problem because you always have to have a hero in every fake shit. Who is gonna be the hero in this fake pandemic that they give you? Is it gonna be the cartoonist Donald Trump? Who is gonna be, people? You need to wake your ass up.
And it was this breakthrough that eventually allowed officials to get control of the cholera pandemic.
First, we made the water safe. We filtered it through cloth and boiled it for 1 minute.
Number 9, the Asian flu pandemic of 1957.
We all missed it. The military missed it, and the World Health Organization missed it.
Though it can be confirmed that this outbreak of the influenza A virus started in China, the exact origins of the virus are...
Always, people. And I told you, China is a big part of the world stage. I said that many times. Just listen to me. They are a part of it. That's why you see half of the world involved with China when it comes to businesses. They build everything. They make every damn thing, people. They are part of the PSYOP. That's why these breakouts so-called start from there, because they're running the PSYOPs and the
are contested, with one popular theory suggesting that a mutation in wild ducks joined together with a typical human strain to create the disease.
There you go, people. It's duck. They're mutilating ducks. That's why they got the disease, the bird flu. I told you they're hoaxing you.
One of 3 flu pandemics during the 20th century. This one was the least deadly, with estimated global death figures ranging between 1 and 4 million. And that's likely due to the fact that a vaccine was created in 1957 that helped...
There you go, people. The vaccine always gonna come and rescue you. It's bullshit for the masses. Don't believe in it. And we're gonna get into this video right here. I'm gonna show you with this so-called Bill Gates. We go get into that and see what he's talking about. We go get into it because a lot of people talking about, yeah, man, break down that Bill Gates video. I did do one of them already. I did break down one of them that he was talking about that same so-called pandemic that he was scared of. So-called flu-like symptoms gonna come to like he's some kind of prophet. Let's watch this one right here. Hold on. Let's see if it's this one. Hold on. Here we go.
Why don't you describe for me as vividly as you can what it is you're worried about, what it is.
And what you got to understand, because I'm a different kind of guy. I look at these guys and I'm like, okay, so say for instance, this Bill Gates right here. He's one of them computer kind geek, and he can come up with the so-called Microsoft. Why the fuck we want to hear something about virus from him? I mean, who would think that he got that type of brain? I mean, because he so-called come up with a computer software, all of a sudden he's a professional on fucking vaccine and diseases. Wow, that's all show you that you live in a dumb world.
The nightmare scenario looks like.
Unfortunately, there's very few things, and most of them are very low probability. You know, some big volcanic explosion.
Big volcanic explosion. And the first thing a truth teller need to tell you, that all of this is a hoax. The nuclear weapon is a hoax. They don't have it. They don't have no nuclear weapon, no nuclear bomb. They're full of shit on the masses. They can't blow up half the world with one bomb. Just remember that all of this shit is a fake hoax they got for the masses. They can show you camera blowing up the whole wide world and the camera stay there to take the footage. Don't believe no bullshit.
Gigantic earthquake, asteroid.
An earthquake and asteroids. I already told you what caused earthquake is. Them just set off an explosion on the ground and it shook up the earth. That's all it is. And don't talk about no asteroid if you got brain. You're just gonna look dumb. It don't matter how much glasses you have on.
Well, at least in the nuclear case, you've got to say we take it quite seriously. We budget a lot of money, have a lot of people who think about nuclear deterrence. And I'm very glad that work's being done. And I rate the chance of a nuclear war in my lifetime.
He's not gonna knock it, people. He's not gonna knock the nuclear weapon. He's telling you he's glad that they're investing in preventing the nuclear attack. He's not knocking them, but they need to pay more attention to the so-called global pandemic that can cause by a disease.
Being fairly low. I rate the chance of a widespread epidemic far worse than Ebola in my lifetime is well over 50%.
That people, why is he talking like that? You never get it. It's the script, people. Just like I show you, Kim Kardashian so-called predicted in a book in 2008 that 2020, this same virus, describe it down to a T. Didn't call it the name, but describe it down to a T. What it gonna do to kill you and everything. What you think? All the people on the stage know this fucking script. Every one of them have a script. They're on the world
If we look at
stage.
the 20th century, we look at the death chart of the 20th century, I think everybody would say, oh yeah, there must be a for World War I.
Yes.
You know, sure enough, there it is, like 25 million. And there must be a big spike for World War II, and there it is, it's like 65 million. But then you'll see this other spike that is as large as World War II, right after World War I. And most people, a lot of people would say, well, what? What was that? There's two kinds of flus. There's flus that spread between humans very effectively.
And I told you people, this is the only way they could have pulled it off if they use so-called flu. That's the only way they can do it. There's nothing else they can use to get the whole wide world in panic and to shut down the world. The only thing they can use is a flu that's spreading rapidly like you've never seen before.
And there's flus that kill lots of people. And those two properties have only been combined.
People, there you go. Everybody post up for the camera. You can see this one staring dead at the camera, holding the empty bed. This one doing the same. Why they staring at the camera, holding the bed? Wow, uniform style, people. Are you kidding me? It's just for the photo. Just wake up. There you go again. Same photo again.
Widespread flu once in history. Well, that is Spanish flu.
People, number 11, 65 million.
We have no idea where it came from. It's called the Spanish flu because the Spanish press was the freest. We have no idea where it came from.
You have no idea where it came from. And I told you, all of them sing the same song. They say the same thing. They don't know where it come from. They call it Spanish flu because Spanish is the first people to basically want to elaborate on it and admit it that they have it, I guess. But watch.
It's called the Spanish flu because the Spanish press.
You see what he did? That's the Freemason hand sign right there with the glass. He can't fool everybody. He just faking the masses.
Was the freest. They were the first to talk openly about it.
They talk
and so in the
the same photos again, people.
Annals of epidemic history, that's the big event. I funded a disease modeling group that uses computer simulation, and that work is.
He always so-called he funded these places that created vaccines and medications. You understand? How did he get in that field? By creating Microsoft. What that got to do with science and medications, vaccines and all. No, because he's a devil puppet. That means he volunteer. He can trick the masses. You understand me, people? He have to do it. He's one of them that to brainwash the people. So therefore, even though it's not in his field, he got to play his part. Everybody got to do it that eat out the devil's part.
Phenomenal in helping us target our polio eradication resources and which parts of Nigeria should we work harder on.
Yes, what part of Nigeria should you work more harder on? They lie to the people. You think they're coming there to help you and help you cure diseases? You're in a world of hurt. They're the one who bring the disease there to begin with.
And it's very natural if you have a group like that to say, hey, look at something like the Spanish flu in the modern day. Health systems are far better. And so you think, hey, that wouldn't be very bad. Well, we tried it. And there are some assumptions we had to make. But what we showed is that the force of infection because of modern transport, which compared to 1918 is over 50 times as great. And so if you get something like a flu and you look at that map of how within days, it's basically...
Wow, you see that, people? This is how they do it. And it's the same thing they're doing today. As far as putting the days up and tell you how much people gonna have the coronavirus. Remember what the California governor said? He said in 8 weeks after California gonna have it, half of California gonna contract the coronavirus disease in 8 weeks. He know that 100%. How the fuck did he know that? It's the script. Again, it's the script. Just like the Kim Kardashian and all of these sodomites, Bill Gates, and them know it's a script.
All urban centers of the entire globe. That is very eye-opening. That didn't happen with Spanish flu in the past.
Even though it didn't happen in the Spanish flu, you know that it's gonna happen with this one right here coming up.
The opportunity to do more than just let it run its course.
You see him, people? That's all he go be
Let
doing.
it run
You
its
see? It's just a Freemason puppet they put on. And there's no way he's a man. You wake up, bam.
Course is really only in the last decade. Basically, when you talk about drugs, you can talk about small molecules or talk about these complex biological protein-like things, which is a subclass called antibodies. Antibodies are the molecules that the immune system naturally builds to attack disease. Today, the idea that somebody says, oh, here's an antibody, make a lot of it, make it very quickly, that's right on the cutting edge. And the Ebola epidemic showed...
There you go, people. You think this is real? I told you, man, the dumb people never get it. You think somebody was posting up right there with a camera when this person finds somebody on the ground dead of the so-called Ebola? No, people, it's arranged footage for the dumb masses. You better wake your ass up.
that we're not ready for a serious epidemic. An epidemic that would be more infectious and would
You
spread
can't burn somebody with an infection and sit around there and breathe the air. It's bullshit.
faster than Ebola did. This is the greatest risk of a huge tragedy. This is the most likely thing by far to kill over 10 million
You hear
excess
that?
people in
Of course, he know that it's gonna kill over 10 million people. Wow, we're gonna see where they're gonna go with this fake virus that they got for the masses. Is it the one that Bill Gates talking about gonna kill over 10 million people worldwide? Wow.
year.
Wow.
We don't need to invest nearly what we do in military preparedness.
There you go.
This is something where
And of course, I already told you, if you pay attention to my video, all of these is bullshit. They're not fighting. So therefore, all of these shit, all the rocket launch, they tell you North Korea launching rockets is just bullshit for the masses. You understand? They're not fight. All of them get paid from the same world government. That's why all of them have to play a part in this fake
less than
pandemic.
$1 billion a year on R&D, medical surveillance, standby personnel, cross-training the military so they can play a role in terms of all the logistics here. This can be done, and we may not get many more warnings like this one to say, okay, it's a pretty modest investment to avoid something that really, in terms of
He know exactly what gonna happen. And you know that he know the script.
to
because
avoid
he show
something
the
that
signs.
really, in terms
He show the signs every time, people. That to show you that he know what the fuck is going on. He know the script like the damn puppets on the world stage.
to avoid
They
something
can't
that
fool everybody.
really,
There
in
you
terms
go.
of the human condition, would be a gigantic setback.
Yes, a gigantic step back. And I told you already, people, nobody can fool me. This virus is a hoax. And that's why they use it on the masses, because the people, they do believe in everything the government bring. We go get into the so-called social distancing. Let's watch this one right here. See what they're talking
The
about.
time for social distancing, it's immediately.
What exactly is social distancing?
Yes, they're gonna tell you what is social distancing. How can you so-called get quarantined? That's what they're telling you to do. Quarantine yourself for 14 days and don't worry about it. I already told you they're gonna update you. While you locked down for 2 weeks, they're gonna update it. There is no way they're gonna lock you down for only 2 weeks.
Social distancing, institute more social distancing.
My name's Carolyn Canusio, and I'm a social
Faker. 100% faker with your CC for your 33 right there in the name. Of course.
epidemiologist. Every action that we take and every way in which we can hold back from the public sphere in order to limit the opportunities for transmission is an opportunity truly
Reading off a script
to save a
too.
life.
I'm wondering if there are just one or two concrete pieces of advice you would want people to follow.
I think our lives should look radically different right now than they normally do.
Oh,
I would
okay.
say
Your
limit
life
your
should be
face-to-face
looking different.
interactions.
You see?
Work from
And this is
and
look
your
at this right
face-to-face
here,
interaction.
people. This is what they're selling you now on TV. The same motherfuckers sitting around the table bringing you the fake news. But if you notice one thing, they're basically sitting far away from each other because they're telling you that's how you should live. You can't live your life like that. It's bullshit. So you come into office, which one of y'all have the fucking virus? Huh? Okay, so none of y'all sure who got it, so you stay away from each other. They're fooling the masses. This is how they want the people to live. Divide. And I told you that's how you fall. Bam.
Work remotely
Work from
whenever
home.
possible. No handshakes, no high fives, no hugs outside the home.
No hugs.
Stand 6 feet or more away from any person you're encountering in a public space.
Yes,
And
6 feet. And of course, they make that up right there on the money. Stay 6 feet away from other people. I told you, it's a perfect way to divide up the people. You can't even share information face to face. What's wrong? Yes, use the social media where they see every fucking thing that you do.
severely restrict your travel from city
Yes.
to city, limiting that to truly urgent matters,
There you go.
and
There you
limit
go,
your
people. Limit your flying, period. You got to be grounded by the government. That's what they're doing. It's not a coincidence.
engagement in the public sphere. Don't attend group gatherings, don't go to the theater, don't go to sporting events.
No more group gatherings, and they're gonna drop it from 10 to 2. What I don't say, people, they're gonna drop. Remember, they tell you no large gathering over 10 people. No, it's 2 people. Of course, it's coming your way. They're gonna do it.
What we're trying to prevent is contact with droplets
Wow.
when people sneeze, cough, or
bullshit.
spit.
I'm wondering what you think of small social gatherings. How big is too big?
You will get different answers from different people about this, and I tend to be more conservative. One of my sons said to me,
It's bullshit.
if we're quarantined, at least we can still have
You
dinner.
see, the son say it with a text. Wow. So you see how they do it, people? They want you to isolate from people and use the social media to contact you. That's all it is. This is how you should communicate. Just use the social media, text or whatever, so we can still see it. That's how they do it, people.
Parties, right? And I said, no, Gabriel, that's the antithesis of what quarantine is about. We have to minimize our contact with others. I would say
Wow.
that's the general rule.
Wow.
Limit it to what's necessary.
Do you recommend that people go outside even if they have limited contact with people?
So what I've been doing is trying to wake up at a very early hour and go usually, or to go in very unpopulated places and walk in the woods.
I'm wondering-
Wow. Go to unpopulated places and walk in the woods. There you go, people. Isolate yourself from other human being. That's the new world order. Wow.
What you think about taking
Wow.
flights?
An important consideration is
Take
that
flight.
the movement of populations is the fuel for continued spread. So in the
There you go.
1918 flu, there was this massive movement of troops across the United States.
And that's what
And
caused
that
it.
troop movement was the perfect vehicle for continuing the spread of
Bullshit, people. Same photos again they got for the masses. You see what I'm talking about yet? Wow.
influenza. And you may think that it's different
There you
if
go,
you're just
people.
traveling
Same
for spring
photos.
break, but really there isn't any difference between that kind of movement for the purposes of wartime personnel needs and the movement of people because they want to get to the beach.
They
We don't want to
people move, period. They want you to freeze right where you're at.
have prolonged
That's it.
contact with other humans in a confined space. And what's a flight if not prolonged contact with
So
other
why is the metro bus system still running? Why would you still have up those railroads running? How you gonna isolate yourself on a damn bus? That don't make no sense,
in a
people.
confined space? So don't do it. If you don't have to do it, don't do it.
I'm sure that's going to be your answer for all of the following questions I have. If you don't have to, don't do it. What about public transportation?
Here we
So
go.
many
Here we go.
people are dependent upon public transit to get to work. There might be some risk reduction practices people could adopt, such as trying to ride at off-peak times. If you are able to walk or ride your bike, do that. It probably is safer from an infection perspective to
Yes,
try.
an infection perspective, it's better for you to ride. I guess you have to have on a mask and a glove because you are still inhaling the air, and they tell you that virus is airborne. It's bullshit.
One's own car rather than to use public transit, but every public health person hates saying that.
How should we approach caring for elderly or at-risk
Here we
neighbors
go.
or people
Here
in
we
our
go.
community who might need help?
If people have been living with an elderly family member, they should reduce radically their contact with the outside
You
world.
hear that, people? If you have anything to do with the elderly, you gotta stay away from outside world so you don't bring the virus to that old person. It's bullshit, people. Now they separate the whole wide world. Of course, it's easy for them now to implement the new world order on the masses. Let's watch this one. Ladies.
Overseas tonight, the International Olympic Committee now considering delaying the Summer Games in Tokyo. German Chancellor Angela Merkel now in
Yes, they're gonna delay it. I already told you they're going to do it because in order for the pandemic to continue and look as real as possible to the people, you can't have no damn Olympic. As you could see this marker right here, the next sodomite and the masses been around running games on you forever with the star right there. Just another man, an old man in a wig.
quarantine after her doctor tested positive.
Yes, and
And
of
in Italy,
course,
the
everybody gotta play their part. The doctor, our own doctor, so-called, come down with the virus. It's bullshit.
coronavirus showing no mercy. ABC's Julia
There you go,
McFarland in
people.
London.
Tonight, another devastating 24 hours in Italy. At least 650 people dying.
And it's all coding. There you go. Italy got 650 people dead. Coding for your number 11.
This after nearly 8
There you go, people. This is what they're showing you right here to let you believe that it's a epidemic going on all over the
succumbed
world.
to the virus the day before.
There you go.
Hospital
Just a
scenes
hoax.
a nightmare. Disturbing images showing doctors overrun.
Bullshit, people. It's just a hoax. What you think, people? You believe that they're coming here with a camera to get this footage right here? It's nothing but fake shit. for the
Doctors
masses.
overrun.
Yes,
Now,
overrun.
5,400 fatalities.
That's a number 9 again, people. That's according. They give you the 11 and they give you the 9. 9/11 coding. and
Since the outbreak. One doctor in the hard-hit region of Lombardy saying they are not eating or going to the bathroom during their shift in order to
Bullshit, people. They're not eating or going to the bathroom during the shift because they don't want to fucking with themselves so they could catch a virus. You believe that? Because they tell you not to touch your mouth or your nose. It's garbage.
preserve their masks and gloves.
I'm not concerned for myself.
They're all fakers. Don't let them fool you. He's not concerned for themselves, just concerned about you. It's bullshit.
The only problem is that I'm worried that if I get sick, I cannot help anymore.
Pope Francis delivering an extraordinary.
Bullshit. And watch this one right here doing the cross sign. Show you it's a damn devil puppet right here in plain sight. They all a part of it. That's why they shut down the world. The Vatican is big in it, people. The pagan.
Orbi et Orbi blessing from an empty St. Peter's Square. In Spain, the death toll climbing, the total to more than 1,700.
There you go, people. It climbed also in Spain to 1,700. And I told you, I already break it down on the podcast, show you all the so-called countries in line. All of them have it. Every single country got a case. That means every country got to be involved in the lockdown.
The national
That's all it
lockdown
is.
extending for another month.
Yes,
Germany's
you see that,
Chancellor.
people? the lockdown extended for another month. What I just tell you, they're gonna do. When they lock you down, don't be thinking it's just gonna be the time that they tell you. It's just for you to comply. Then they can extend it, as you could see the eagle fading away right there in the background. Watch this right here.
Angela Merkel now going into quarantine after finding out her doctor tested positive.
Yes.
The country now banning
They're going into quarantine. I told you they're full of shit.
outdoor meetings of more than two, unless it is for. After finding out her doctor tested positive, the country now banning outdoor meetings of more than two,
You hear
unless.
that, people? They're banning outdoor meetings of more than two. That means you have to be by yourself. You and another person is two. That's it. You understand? Wow. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be also coming to where you're at, because it's one world government running the whole shit on you right here. So it's coming where you're at. They're gonna break it down. No gathering, period.
It is for essential work, and police in Paris out
There
in
you go.
force,
Police
checking
out
people.
in force. Yes, they're not worried about the virus. All they need is something over the nose and some gloves, and they're good. You believe that, people? Wake up. The police show you. That's 33 numerology. Show you that it's Freemasonry, the whole fucking shit. And those are the one who gonna keep you in line in this pandemic.
Force, checking people's papers, making sure they need to be out in
You
public.
hear that, people? The reason why I'm showing you this, a lot of people not gonna get it. The reason why I'm showing you this, because it's coming to you. It's that simple. Remember, before this lockdown, you couldn't tell the people that they're gonna be a lockdown. No, that's China. Oh, that's Italy, not America. And then boom, the same thing comes, because they're gonna up the number. And I told you, America is in the so-called plus when it comes to the death. You understand? They got new deaths. They got new so-called victims. That means they're gonna raise the level. Yes, they're gonna close down the country right there, just like you see in Italy. And they're checking your papers to see if you have a reason to be in the streets. It's over now. Once they start doing that, you see the martial law in plain sight. And I already told you, when the smoke clear, a lot of non-believers are gonna see the truth.
Force, checking people's papers, making sure they need to be out in public.
Making sure that they need to be in public. They're checking their papers. Wow, people, that's martial law. If you've never seen one, you can't go nowhere. The whole wide world gonna be on the lockdown. It's from the elites. Those are the people who send it down and tell them to lock down the whole wide world. Everybody gotta follow suit. It might not be at the same time now, but they're gonna do it. Just believe me.
Tonight, a major headline from the International Olympic Committee. They are considering postponing the Tokyo Summer
of
Games.
course.
They say that cancelling is not an option, that they'll announce their decision in 2 to 4 weeks' time.
Yes,
Tom?
it's not gonna be that so-called Olympic gonna be the so-called sacrifice for the masses to believe that it's nothing sweet. The pandemic is on. That's the only reason why they're doing
Major
it.
developments all over the globe tonight. Hi, everyone.
Of course. Let's continue. This one right here. Let's get into it.
This morning,
Hold on.
This morning, some good news from Tom Hanks and his wife Rita
Remember, I
Wilson.
already told you. Remember what I tell you about this character right here? What did I tell you? I said he's too old. Remember, they tell you it's the old people that dying from the coronavirus. Once you tell me that this guy have it, I expect him to fall. Just like all those senior citizens that you're telling us dying. Why is he still living with this old bat right there, laughing at the masses? You believe they got the coronavirus, that they're selling you, killing the masses? No, people. They lie to you. It's just a hoax. They have to use these puppets that you know and believe in to pass it off as real. And of course, yes, they're good now.
Battling coronavirus in Australia. The star updated his fans, tweeting 2 weeks after our first symptoms, and we feel better.
There you go, people. 2 weeks after the first symptoms, they feel better with these 9s and 6s. That's how they do it. And of course, they on Twitter tweeting it. What you think, people? What I tell you about Twitter is a propaganda network. And you know it's propaganda they're running right now. Of course, with the coronavirus, you're going to see nothing but tweets.
Sunday, sheltering in place works like this. You don't
Hear
give
that?
it to any.
Shelter in place, it worked, people. They didn't get no fucking treatment. They didn't get no cure. Just isolation from the rest of the people. And there you go. They're well now. You believe it? Let's go back.
After our first symptoms and we feel better. Hanks wrote Sunday, sheltering in place works like this. You don't give it to anyone, you don't get it from anyone.
You don't give it to anybody, you don't get it from anyone. What kind of shit is that if you already have it and you're isolating? The only thing you're avoiding is give it to other people. But how the fuck do you get cured? What kind of treatment did you take? This is bullshit.
Wilson captured some of what she called
See that? Watch them people.
Captured some of what she called quarantine stir crazy, rapping to Naughty by Nature's 1992 hit, Hip Hop Hooray.
Wow. Hip Hop Hooray? Where you think that come from? That's why they never leave it alone. They're never gonna forget the music that was put on by the elites. They're gonna bring it to you. And of course, this one, perfect opportunity to tell the masses to stay at home and listen music. Dumb on.
It comes as other stars battling coronavirus are sharing their story.
People, all of them is fake, 100%. That's why it's not the people around you is having the disease. It's these sodomites that are trying to tell you to stay off the road and stay home.
Bravo's Andy Cohen posted this on Instagram. After a few days of self-quarantine and not feeling great, I have tested positive for
There you go, people. It's self-quarantine because it wasn't feeling great. So it's self-house arrest. And I already told you, it's just a fancy word for house arrest. That damn quarantine. Yes. So it's telling the masses, don't feel bad. Just go in quarantine. Make it easy for the government to lock your ass down.
Coronavirus.
That's all it is.
Actor Idris Elba, who tested.
There you go again, people. This sodomite involved in lying to the masses also.
I have tested positive for coronavirus.
Here we go.
Actor Idris Elba, who tested positive for the disease last.
And there you go, people. And of course, I told you, all publicity for these sodomites is good publicity. So now they're telling you, remember, they want you to think that the coronavirus is real. So instead of you worrying about is it real or not, you worry about the drama that it brings. Watch this right here.
This week got slammed on social media for not isolating himself away from his wife Sabrina.
You hear that? He got slammed on social media for not isolating himself from the so-called Sabrina, a man in a drag. Both of them is two fake people and the masses. But what is this about, people? Both of them so-called have it. But yes, he basically tell you that the woman don't have it and he don't know because she didn't get tested. But she was hanging out with him, and all of a sudden, it's a controversy. I told you, nothing but bullshit to distract the masses from the fake virus.
Now she too has been diagnosed with the virus. The couple,
of course, diagnosed with the virus. You're diagnosed with the Adam's apple in the damn neck also. Huh? And this one diagnosed with the damn bent up teeth. Bam on.
The couple explained their decision in an online interview with
fake.
Oprah Winfrey.
And of course, online interview with Oprah show you that they're full of shit. Oprah and the all orange for Freemasonry. Bam on.
It certainly called it in that time period as well. So,
it's a fucking fake.
You know, I think, you know, people were are right to have highlighted that, you know, spatial distance is important. We weren't thinking about that specifically.
You didn't think about that, but what was you preaching on that fucking video? The same shit, social distancing, and you wasn't thinking about it? That's what you was preaching on the damn video. I already did it and break it down. You was preaching the same social distancing, but you wasn't thinking about it. Wow.
Meanwhile, helping to spread the message through some music, singer Neil Diamond, who does not have COVID-19.
Of course, Neil Diamond is a coding for Freemasonry. That's what you need to know.
He performed an acoustic version of his famous hit Sweet Caroline with new lyrics.
Washing hands. What you think, people? Washing hands. He there at home, tell you to stay at home and wash your hand. Wow, what kind of dumb people sit around and wait for these sodomites to tell them to wash their hands? That gotta be the dumbest shit in the world, people. Wake up.
Motivating the masses to do the right thing.
Motivate the masses. Reaching out. Let your dumb ass out of here. All sixes swirl right there burning with the fire. It's by design.
Don't touch me.
Let your ass out of here.
I won't touch you.
For today, Joe Fry, NBC News.
Sweet. All of them full of shit on the masses. They're trying to convince you that this coronavirus is real and you need to be in panic mode. Run and hide. It's not gonna work with the Bitter Truth. Let's get in the chat a little bit. Yeah, what's good, everybody? Yeah, we on. What I do, catch me, y'all. See you in the building. Greg, what's good? Yeah, Amelie, I see you. Yeah, yeah, Bianca. Sweet tea in the building, what's good? Yeah, I see you, Lola. What's happening? Online shopping, Sweet Pea. What's good? Yeah, loving my life, I see you. Yeah. Yeah, Invisible, I see you, Invisible One. Yeah, Irene. Tina in the building. Young Yoda, see you. Yeah. Donna, what's good? Yeah, Mr. Funny Man in the building. Yeah, wash your hands and singing song. They're full of shit. Yeah, Barrington, what's good? Yeah, Malcolm. Yeah, Party, yeah, what's good? Yeah, Sunday Wolf, I see you in here fighting truth. Yeah, Fit Goddess, back on. Yeah, Blessed, I see you. Yeah, Top, what's happening? Yeah, Willie, I see you. Fast in his life, my friend, what's good? Yeah. Yeah, what they do, P? What's good? Petrol, for sure. The monster in the building, what's good, OC? Yeah, we on. Yeah. Yeah, Tafari, what's good? Yeah, we on. Honest. Yeah, what's good, Dick? Yeah, Barracuda in the house. What's good, Red? Yeah. Tiffany Davis. Yeah, we on. Miss Tony. What's happening? Michael in the building. James. What they do? Yeah, Patricia, I see you. Yeah. Yeah, the plugs, I see you. What's good? Yeah, glad y'all come out, man. You know that go. Toddy Fine, I see you in there. Faye E. What's good, Angie? What's happening? Yeah. Eric. Candy's ill. I see you, Matthew. What's happening? Yeah. Yeah, I see you, Faker. What's good? Beef Supreme. Yeah, Warrior of Jah. I see you, my friend. What's happening? Yeah. Scorpio. We in there, Nicholas. Tommy. Yeah. What's good? Yeah, Linda, I see you. LVKY. Tat. Tony Montana in the building. What's good? Yeah, appreciate all y'all for coming too, man. You know that go. Yeah, and I'm glad to see that y'all up and running and ain't worry about this dumb shit that they got for the masses. Because I told you, people, it can't be a pandemic unless you make it one. It is what it is. Because the majority rule, they run all over the Bitter Truth people. Yeah, just to get up front to make the shit look real. What they do, Bam Bam? Azo in the house, what's good? Yeah, we on, see money. Dan, Killerman, yeah. Yeah, Miss Blue, I see you. Yeah, that shit running fast. Yeah, but hey, you know it go. Kevin J, I see you. Yeah, we ain't gonna be dumb and caught up in it, but like I say, we didn't set it off. The people with the brain didn't set it off. We're not responsible for this pandemic going off. You understand? It's not us. It's the people that actually believe in it. Those are the ones who make it look real and allow them to pull off this lockdown. Because once you believe in it and they see that you're running scared, they can pull the lockdown on you. Because nobody want a lockdown if they think that the shit is a hoax. Yeah, Nati Tafar, I see you in the building. What's good? Yeah, I see you, my man. Already, Stacy, I see you, Rose. What's good, Flacco? G. Lee, yeah. Jennifer Cummins, I see you. Yeah, Flowers Bam. What's good? Yeah, S. Lee. What they do? K, I see you. Yeah, Z. What's good? What they do? Yeah, look here. I see you. I need a daily. Hey, I'm just spotting the damn chat because it's moving fast. I'm just If I look down on the name I catch, that's it. But it's running fast. Yeah, yeah. I see you, donkey. For sure, for sure. Yeah, glad to see you all. You know that go. Yeah. I am learning. I see you. What's good? Yeah, Lon. What's good with that? Johnny. I see you in the building. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Appreciate you every time. You know that go. Truth keep going. Yeah, Flacco. You never stop, Linda. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I did a podcast earlier, so y'all could check it out, man. Got a new podcast up. Yeah, go on there and check it out. It's on Spotify, or you can just get the Anchor app. Now, I having problem getting on iTunes, but I don't know. It's supposed to be on iTunes also, and even Pocket Cast. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that because I could tell that what platform they watch on. I don't too much see the iTunes in there. Might be something I need to, settings. I might have to change some settings in there. Yeah, Tiffany Davis. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, yeah. Hey, we always on. Yeah, real Chris in the building. Yeah, a while ago the chat just stop and start again. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, but we on though, man. Yeah, like I say, my people that's awake, man. Yeah, you're like a fresher, nice hair coming too. You know what I mean? Nice fresh hair coming. You feel me? That's how I feel about you. Yeah, because in this deception, man, it's nice to have people with the brain that we're using it. We can't deal with the brain dead people that never use their brain. Yeah, just take what the government give them and run. They don't even look into it. What a shame, people. What a shame. What's good, Lisa? I see you. What a waste of the damn mind and the brain. What's good, African? I see you in the building. TLC 13. Yeah, we definitely on. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Andrea, I see you in here. For sure. Yeah, Stan, yeah, we in. Stan, yeah, I see you. Yeah, Dina. Yeah, Sweet Queen in the building. I see you. Yeah, yeah. Fire Flowers with the BAM already. We on. Yeah, Stickman, we on. Yeah, for sure. Lioness in the building.